Hi, I'm Raheli, and this is Living Life Simply. On this channel, I share a variety of simple, nutritious, delicious vegan recipes. I share information on why going vegan is the best choice you can do for yourself, the earth, and the animals. I also share my current travel adventure throughout the world, as well as share my zero waste and minimalistic lifestyle. If you're interested to learn about any of these topics, make sure to subscribe to this channel and join the community. There is a new video every Wednesday and Saturday. In today's video, I wanted to share with you two recipes for some untraditionally flavored latkes. The first ones will be a zucchini and carrot one, and the second one will be a sweet potato one. And I actually ended up taking these two kind of latkes as well as some traditional potato latkes to my family gathering this past weekend. And I have a recipe for those potato latkes that I will be leaving up here as well as in the description below. And my family actually preferred the untraditionally flavored ones over the traditional potato latkes. So I think that it would be awesome if you give them a try, and let me know in the comments below if you prefer the traditional potato ones or this more unique ones. So without further ado, let's get into the video. We'll start off by making the zucchini and carrot latkes. You will start off by finely chopping up one onion and adding it to a bowl. Then you will need 1 large potato, 3 medium zucchinis, and 2 large carrots. Peel the potato and chop it into 8 or so large pieces. Next, chop each zucchini to 4 parts as you see me doing here. Finally, chop each carrot to 3 parts. Then you will need to grate all the veggies, either by hand or in a food processor. Let's start off by grating the potato in the largest hole of the grater. Using the same size hole, grate the zucchini. Then switch to a medium or small hole of the grater and grate the carrots. Add all the grated veggies to one bowl, but since I'm using my grandma's food processor that she has had for many years, the veggies immediately are grated into the bowl. Once all the veggies are in the bowl, add half a cup of tahini and mix well until the tahini is covering all the veggies. This might take about 2 to 3 minutes. Then add 1 tablespoon of salt, half a tablespoon of pepper, as well as half a cup of chickpea flour or any gluten-free flour of your choice, but I think lentil flour or chickpea flour tastes best with this recipe. Mix well until all the veggies are coated. This might take another 1 or 2 minutes. Line a pan with a baking sheet or silicone mat and lightly grease with oil. This is an optional but very recommended step to get the more traditional flavor of the latkes. Then it's time to form the latkes by taking a small part of the mixture, about a small ice cream scoop, and I normally like to use an ice cream scooper actually to do it, but since I'm at my grandma's, I only used a spoon as that's what she had, and it works just as well. And then once I have the mixture, I make it into a bowl and squish it down onto the pan. Then lightly add some oil to the top of the latkes for more crispiness. Again, this is an optional step, but a recommended one. Then you will pop them in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius for 35 minutes. Take them out of the oven and carefully turn them over. And at this point, since I have 2 pans in the oven, I also flip between the pans so that the one that was on the bottom is now on the top and the one on the top is now on the bottom. And I bake it for another 10 minutes until they are ready. To prepare the sweet potato latkes, start off by peeling 1 large sweet potato, chopping it into large chunks, and steaming it until it is softened. Meanwhile, finely chop 1 small onion, either in a pulse food processor or by hand. and saute by adding a bit of vegetable broth or water to the pan and cook until it becomes transparent. Add water or vegetable broth as needed to deglaze the pan. Once the sweet potato is soft, mash it up, and then you will mix into it 1 tablespoon of salt, half a tablespoon of pepper, and the onion that you have sauteed. You can also choose to add 1 tablespoon of oil, but I chose not to. Then you will peel 4 medium to large potatoes, chop them into large chunks, and grate the potatoes by hand or in a food processor using the largest hole of the grater. Add the grated potatoes to the bowl. As I mentioned, I use the food processor that my grandma has had for many years, and this one directly grates it into the bowl. Once I have everything in the bowl, I mix it all together until the grated potatoes are fully covered with mashed potatoes, and this can take about 2 to 3 minutes of mixing it well. Then you line up a pan with a baking sheet or silicone mat and lightly grease it with oil, but as I mentioned before, this is an optional recommended step that gives a more traditional flavor to the latkes. And then you will be forming the latkes, and just like you did with the veggie ones, you will be taking a small scoop. I normally use an ice cream scooper, but as I mentioned, here I'm not able to use an ice cream scooper since I'm at my grandma's, so I just use a spoon, and that worked as well. Then I make them into a bowl and squish it down onto the pan. Then lightly add some oil on the top of the latkes for more crispiness, but once again, this is an optional step. And just like before, you will pop it in the oven for 35 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. Then take them out and carefully turn them over to the other side and bake for another 10 minutes or so. I love having both of these kinds of latkes with some cashew sauce dip, which I have a recipe for that I will be linking up here as well as in the description below, but applesauce is another great dip option. That is all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give it a like. If this was your first time here in the Living Life Simply channel, make sure to subscribe down below for more, and I will see you all on Wednesday with a new travel video. Bye!